The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
JP Morgan saying Ethereum is losing NFT market share to Solana. Since August, Solana has been capturing NFT volume share from Ethereum as the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap has seen its dominance in non-fungible tokens shrinking because of congestion and high gas fees. Joining us now is eToro U.S. Managing Director Guy Hirsch. Hello there, Guy. Thanks for joining us. So I understand you were managing eToro's U.S. business. Now you've shifted to expanding their NFT business. So on this latest news, ETH's market share of NFTs has dropped to around 80% from about 95% at the start of 2021, according to JP Morgan. Do you see this trend continuing on?
Yeah, we do see an intense competition for the exponentially growing NFT market. That is both in terms of competition, direct competition to ETH, but also in terms of all sorts of layer 2 solutions in order to deal with the very problematic issue of the high gas fees. So we do see this competition intensifying. We do see more L2 solutions being developed in order to allow more people to participate without paying all these high gas fees.
What are some of your other predictions for 2022? Anything that would be particularly surprising?
I think what we will see is in crypto markets we saw, and we've had a lot of discussions. You do a lot of discussions about that on this show. That is institutional participation in the crypto markets. So if in 2018, 2019, 2020, we all analyzed if Goldman or Morgan would go into the space and start allocating to crypto. I think now with NFTs, we see a different type of institutional participation. We see companies like Nike and Adidas and luxury brands such as Gucci and LVMH going into the NFT space. So that is a different type of institutional participation. And I think that would give kind of dramatic boost into crypto and crypto adoption as a whole, because NFTs are still crypto. So I think that is going to be quite surprising to people to see a lot of money being flowing into the NFT, or essentially into crypto from institutional players, but not the traditional finance institutional players, but more brands.
So Guy, what L2s are you looking at right now that you think are going to benefit from this growth in NFTs?
We see, without kind of naming all sorts of names, but we see a lot of really interesting, clever implementations in ways that would allow people to essentially trade NFTs with zero cost. That is essentially the goal, with zero cost. Still register it on a blockchain, still registering in a way that is safe and secure. But I think that is still early to kind of point all sorts of kind of clear market participants that have a very solid solution. But we see a lot of money pouring into an attempt to develop this on top of Ethereum in order to solve for this issue. So I think it's still early to say names, but we see a lot of energy in that space.
So if you're not going to name the layer 2s, how about layer 1s? I mean, is there anything in the layer 1s in particular that you think are going to benefit from the growth of NFTs?
I think there are a lot of kind of, interesting, as we just talked about with regards to Solana, with regards to Ethereum, that market dynamics would get more people into trying to figure out if they want to get into the space and want to basically propose maybe a different mechanism to allow people to trade these assets. Not particularly, I think, other than the obvious competitions between the protocols we already named. I don't see any kind of new entrant into the space, but there will be a continuation of changing of dynamics, maybe additional market share being lost to Solana from Ethereum, things of that nature. But again, I think between that and the L2 solutions, we're going to see some additional loss of dominance for ETH with regards to NFTs, unless the gas fees will be solved.
Now, another 3-letter acronym is ETFs, and you guys are getting involved now in equity ETFs. How are you able to do that in terms of regulation in the United States? I mean, we've seen crackdowns on crypto companies that were wrapping or holding equities in crypto. Are you guys getting involved in that at all, or are you just creating your own ETF that's traditional style?
So we were very excited to announce that we got into stock trading in the US, and we have a stock trading offering right now being available to investors in the US. We did that through very careful consideration to obviously to compliance and legal aspects by setting up different entities that each serve the asset class that it is permitted to serve from that particular entity in a way that is fully compliant with all rules and regulations. And so for that particular matter, we instituted an introducing broker-dealer. We registered with FINRA, and we did all the necessary processes and procedures and registrations in order to make sure that we are fully compliant. Now, obviously, we made full disclosure with regards to our crypto business to the equities, to the regulators, that is the SEC and FINRA, and made sure that they know about how our business works and bless that in order to launch our stock trading offering in the US.
So why did you get involved right now with equities at a time? Isn't it kind of like a weaker market? We have a weaker economy. Why not just focus on crypto for the time being and then maybe get involved in equities when things are, looking more up? Or is it just takes so long that you might as well launch with it?
That's a fantastic question. And outside of the US, which is where we started, we added throughout the years more and more asset classes because we believe in diversification. We want people to diversify their portfolios. And so we hold a kind of a world view that if you are exposed to crypto, which is fantastic, you should still consider other asset classes such as equities in your portfolio in order to be diversified. That is a very, very important principle of investing. And so we provide a lot of education, a lot of tools, a lot of content for people to understand how to look at their investing life in a way that is holistic, diversify, and then particularly now in the US, allow people to have some exposure to the stock market, to equities, alongside their investments in cryptos.
And Guy, eToro is expected to IPO via SPAC reverse merger with Fintech Acquisition Corp 5 in the first half of this year. Do you have an update on what's going on?
We announced that we have successfully negotiated with our PIPE investors an extension to the deal that we've announced earlier in last year. And so we were very happy that all of our investors gave us, or the investors that were part of the PIPE deal showed a lot of confidence, and we are continuing on that process with the SEC, and we hope to when we're going to have an update on that, I'm sure we're gonna be announcing it. But for now, this is what we've announced, that we extended that timeline till June, and we continue to work with the regulators in order to complete the transaction.